Well, guys, it's winter time. I'm bored and I'm doing some of my geek projects. So here it is. This is a Raspberry Pi 5 with 8 gig of memory mounted in a Piron 5 mini tower. Pironman 5. This thing is cool. Well, you can see the CPU fans running. It's been on for a while. And this thing is really cool. It's metal case. It's got several boards. It's got an extender board for the micro SD, so you could plug in here with your micro SD, and that's how you get started. It's got a secondary board for a NVMe drive, which I have a 1 terabyte NVMe drive in there. It's probably overkill. Big tower cooler, two RGB fans, a power switch, a header extender, and I'll show you the header extender. I can actually take my little hotspot off of this board, plug this card into here, and the hotspot comes up, the WPSD hotspot. It's just a lot of different things you could do with it, but I always wanted to mess around with Linux, and I really didn't want it as a main system or have it on my main system. Raspberry Pi 5s are really powerful nowadays. There's a web-based interface for making changes to this. I'll show you that. It also gives you your info, CPU, GPU temps. The CPU fan is running. The other fans are not on at the moment, but you can change that very easily. So here are the settings. Temperatures in Celsius. Let's go down here to RGB brightness. You can change that by just bringing it up, and that will brighten up the inside here. Bring it back down. You can make it breathing so they kind of pulse. You can speed it up. It's like a strobe light. The fan mode right now is on balanced. I can turn the fans always on, and as you can see, they are RGB fans, but there is no way to change the colors. We'll put it on performance for now. And they'll come on as needed if the system gets warm enough. Let's see, what else have we got here? Not much else, really. You can rotate the OLED if you lay the case down. Different things you could do with it. Shows total discs, or you can just show the NVMe on the OLED screen. Just show totals. You can enable or disable the OLED screen. And again, you can rotate it 180 degrees. So there's just a lot of stuff you can do, and this is actually kind of a cool little piece to have on your desktop. So that being said, I wanted to put a bunch of amateur radio stuff on here. So let's move on, and I am going to use VNC to go into the computer, and I will show you what we did. All right, here's the desktop. I did a VNC in. First thing I did was I installed Synaptic, which is a program that handles your packages or your programs. So under preferences, first off I went sudo apt install Synaptic, and it installed the program. So here it is, requires authorization. What's really cool about this program is it's got one whole section on amateur radio. There it is. Tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. So I installed some ham radio software, and it created a ham radio folder here. And I spent a little bit of time setting up WSJTX. I've got an FTDX10, which has a serial connection which does both audio and your COM ports, and it works very easily, and it worked great with this. Took a little bit to get it set up, but it wasn't that bad. And before I do anything else, let's take one really quick look at the back of this. So you've got two full-size HDMI ports, your Ethernet port, and your regular serial ports. My FTDX is just plugged into one of the serial ports. So it's not, we'll just leave it like this. It's not a lot of stuff you have to connect. So let's bring up WSJTX, ham radio, WSJTX. I've used it. I've made a couple of calls with it already today. Here it is. We'll put this down here. Put this over here. And in preferences, or settings, I should say, it was pretty easy to set up. Of course, my call, my grid, however you want to set this stuff up. The radio, FTDX10, USB port, USB 0 is what I'm using, 38400, 8, 1, nothing else, none, none, and RTS with USB 1. And then on the audio, the USB codecs from the FTDX10. I use those. And it just works. Works great. So, yeah, there's a ton of other software you can install, ham radio related software, just by using the Synaptic Package Manager. Great stuff. Like I said, winter project. I got nothing going on. No motorcycle racing. It's too much snow to get out on the dirt bike. So I'm kind of, doing what I need to do or doing what I feel like doing. We got a couple of European stations in here right now on the WSJTX. So yeah, if you want something, a project, I highly recommend this. The case is really cool. The fan shut off again. The other fans haven't, it's never gotten hot enough for it to come on. Right now, according to the little screen on the front, we're at about 46.9. I don't ever see it getting much warmer than that, even when I'm using it a lot. What's really cool is you can plug and play, make a micro SD card with something else on it, plug it in, and it will by default boot off of the micro SD card. Secondary, it boots onto the NVMe drive, which is great. So like I said, I can take the hotspot off of this. As a matter of fact, let's do it. So if I double tap this, it'll shut down. And you'll see that the screen's kind of froze up right now, and that's because it shut down completely. Yeah. So we're not going to need that. What we're going to need is this. I'm going to take the micro SD card from my hotspot, plug it in, take my $30 digital hotspot. Plug it on, push the power button, and we're back in business. I'm going to disconnect the FTDX10 for now, but we're back in business, and let's see what happens. Well, we got some activity going on. Oh, we got two screens. WPSD booting up, please wait on the front. Same here on the hotspot. See how long it takes to boot up. Shouldn't take it long. There you go. WPSD has booted up. This is a little bit nicer sitting on your desk than any of the other ones. And you have access to the GPIO headers as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is just a great little setup. I really like the case. I like the fact that it's like a little mini gaming tower with the big cooler and all that on it. Plus the NVMe drive. I've got a few NVMe drives kicking around. A couple of them wouldn't work, but that's a Western Digital, work fine. If you go on the Pironman 5 website and look at what works with this board and pick one of those if you don't have one, or try what you've got, either or. Like I said, I'm very impressed with this. And now it says stopping. I double punched it offline, shutting down. Don't remove power, shut down complete. This thing shut off. Pop this out. Take my hotspot board off, turn it back on. Now it boots off the NVMe with my main desktop OS. And I will reconnect into it on my VNC. We'll go here. Right now that's still the old screen, but if I reconnect, what you'll see is let's see if I can get it correct here. Where is it? There it is. Boom. We're back to a desktop. So that worked out very nicely. I'm very happy with it. Like I said, it's just a cool little project to be playing with. And we got a big snowstorm coming tomorrow and Monday, so I might just hang around and do some FT8 on this with my FTDX10. Hey, 7-3 guys, have a great day. And if you're in that snowfall, don't hurt yourself shoveling or snow blowing. I know I'll be out on the snow blower for a couple of hours at least. Have yourself a great day.